We have completed the planting of all of our indeterminate and determinate tomatoes, as well as our tomatillos. So now we are going to move on to some herbs. This year I'm trying a few new ones that I got from freeheirloomseeds.org, and that includes sweet marjoram. I'm not even quite sure how to use this, but it looked interesting. This is the first time I've ever grown this. So we'll see. Alexa, how do you plant sweet marjoram?
Sweet marjoram is a delightful herb to grow. Start seeds indoors 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date, then transplant outdoors when the soil warms up. Give it full sun and well-drained soil, and you'll be enjoying its sweet, citrusy flavor in no time.
Alexa, how deep do you plant the seeds?
Plant sweet marjoram seeds on the surface of the soil. They need light to germinate, so gently press them into the moist soil without covering them.
All right, thanks, Alexa. So I'm just sprinkling a little bit of these seeds over the top of the soil of the two cells. We'll see how it goes. Another new seed that I'm trying this year is cumin. Alexa, how do you start cumin seeds?
Start cumin seeds indoors 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. Plant them 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep in well-drained soil when night temperatures stay above 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right. So these go a little bit deeper than my tomatoes. Make that hole a little deeper. Alexa, how many seeds do you put in each cell?
For cumin seeds, plant 2 to 3 seeds per cell. Once they sprout, you can thin to the strongest seedling.
This is my first time planting cumin seeds. So,
Exciting first-time adventure. Start your cumin seeds indoors now, planting 2 to 3 seeds per cell about 1/4 inch deep. Keep the soil moist and warm until they sprout in 7 to 14 days.
thank you for your help, Alexa.
You just made my day. Happy planting with those cumin seeds.
Another new seed that we are trying this year is sage, but a specific variety of sage. This is called Extraka. That's Extrakta. Sage. It's called culinary sage. To me, it looks just like regular sage. Typically, the sage that I have grown in the past is called broadleaf. So we'll see how this one compares, if it's extra special. Oregano seeds, they're so tiny that you just gently sprinkle them over the top, just like we did for that sweet marjoram. We have some German thyme. We're going to do the same thing with the German thyme. We're just going to sprinkle it over the top.
Are you still there?
I have some Italian oregano here. I like to put oregano all over my garden. Not only is it good for warding off some pests, but it also is a great cover crop to keep my soil covered and warm. So I am just gently sprinkling this. There we go. Over the top of these cells. Okay. There we go. For tiny seeds like oregano, thyme, and sweet marjoram, I sprinkle over the top of the already wet soil, and I don't actually pat them down. The reason why I don't pat them down is because of seed transfer. If you put your finger on the seeds that are on the soil, then they get stuck to your finger, and as you move along, you kind of transfer them around. So I prefer to just leave them as it is and let nature take its course. All right, so the next herb that we're planting is parsley. I absolutely love parsley in the garden. Not only is it great for preserving, I dry it out and put it into containers to use throughout the year. I don't remember the last time that I actually bought parsley at the grocery store. I was recently at a friend's house and she was adding parsley to a dish from the grocery store, and it was so interesting to smell it because it does not smell like parsley. It just smells, well, really has no smell to it. Whereas the parsley that I have dried out in my own home from my garden still very much smells like parsley. It makes you wonder, what do these companies do, and what percentage of the herbs that you buy in the store are actually the herbs and not just something that they're legally allowed to have a percentage of in there. I have 4 different varieties of parsley. So I have evergreen parsley. This is the first year that I'm trying that, and it's from that free heirloom seeds. And then I have dark green flat leaf parsley, which is just regular old parsley from M.I. Gardener. I tend to put a lot of seeds down when I do herbs. Just kind of mix them in, and then as they grow, I will separate them out into many different containers. But I always start many of them together. So I have flat dark leaf from M.I. Gardener, and then I also have triple curled from M.I. Gardener. This is like the fancy parsley that you get at restaurants. Speaking of parsley at restaurants, do you eat the parsley on the side when they give it to you? I never have. but I do use parsley a lot in my own cooking. And then the fourth type of parsley that I'm putting in the garden this year is moss curled parsley. This will be my 4th year growing this. Again, just another variety. When I dry it out, I mix them all together.
Are you still there?
Okay. So that's all for parsley. Okay, next we have another variety of sage. So earlier I planted the free heirloom seed variety of sage called Extrica. And now I'm just going to plant some broadleaf sage from MI Gardener. I started broadleaf sage about 3 weeks ago and it sprouted up nicely. But for whatever reason, in my actual garden, I don't have great luck. Ooh, that's way too much. I don't have great luck keeping sage alive. So I'm going to plant it in several different areas of the garden this year to see where it does best. And then I have some more common English thyme here. Earlier I planted German thyme. And now I'm just going to sprinkle some common English thyme over the top of a couple of these cells and see what we get. Good. And my gardener, inside their package, they have little packages of the seeds. That helps with these teeny tiny seeds. All right. Okay, and then the last herb that I'm starting today is rosemary. I did start some rosemary 3 weeks ago and it has sprouted. However, rosemary is finicky when starting from seeds. I don't always have great luck with it, especially transplanting it into the garden. So I like to have a lot of it and plant it all over the garden. And some places it's successful and some places it's not. And that is not consistent from year to year. All right, so now I have all my herbs planted. I'm gonna go back over these herbs, tomatillos and tomatoes with my little digger and cover the seeds. Thanks for joining in.
Goodbye.